Hello and welcome to the UK Flying Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. You truly are the oxygen to the show. On this week's show, I discussed with Mrs. C the highs, the lows, and everything between for 2025. Sit back, enjoy the show, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Hello and welcome to this month's episode of the UK Flooring Podcast. And I'm not going to introduce a special guest because that's what I always say. We're just going to get straight into it. Final podcast of the year. Mrs. C is in the house. How are we doing? Literally in the house. You're not in the podcast booth, you're in the house.
I know. We have a sick child today, so unfortunately this is how it's got to roll. And I cannot believe that this is the last podcast of the year. What a brilliant year we've had on here.
For clarity, is this the third year Christmas of the UK Flying Podcast? Is it? Because we had one last year, definitely. But have we had 3 Christmas specials?
Did we? I think we recorded the first ever one. Was it December 22? No, December 21. And we launched in January of 2022. So, yeah.
This is the third Christmas special.
Third Christmas special. That is crazy. Crazy.
So where are we going with this podcast? Should we look back at the successes of this year and what we've struggled with, or what we're doing? Because we've zero prep, as we always do with this these podcasts with me and you, Mrs. C.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start.
Well, what I'll do, because I'm going to cheat, so I've just sent our social team a photo dump of all of the key points that happened this year here at Cockerill & Co. So they can do a montage of...
Oh, that's a big word for you.
Montage of what we've done. So let me go through. They're actually in date order, I think. So we started the year with a quarterly make or break course. So I've got pictures of the make or breakers, which for anyone that doesn't know, it's our SAS style. We actually break you or make you, but it's for private clients only. We took all the clients into the Costa del Tees, and we went kayaking and raft building. And after doing sort of a commitment to how this year was going to pan out, it was just more of an entertaining thing to do on a Saturday. We really enjoyed
it. Day. That was a brilliant day. I absolutely loved that day. It was so hilarious. I can remember at one point, somebody grabbing me by the back ass of my my what do you call it? Your wetsuit, and just dragging me back onto a paddleboard. It was hilarious. Like literally, you had bums and stuff all in everyone's face. It was like, if you're shy, it wasn't the thing to be doing, actually. But yeah, it was a brilliant day, that. And then everyone got ill after. Well, some people got ill afterwards, didn't they? So they had the Costa del Tees.
So yeah, for clarity, we don't just go kayaking and take the piss. The day before that, we got together with 35 clients, 35 business owners, foreign business owners, obviously retailers and contractors, and planned out a bit more of how this year was going to look. Then we went out for some food on the evening, and then we went kayaking. We didn't just bring everyone to Darlington and go kayaking, even though that'd be a wonderful idea. But we had a day out at Instamac, which was great. Just our private clients, learned a bit. Technical side had a VIP tour, so we did that. Then moved into Exploring Freedom course. We pulled off a few of them this year, not as many as normal, deliberately, I must say, not because we didn't want to, just due to diaries.
Yep.
And then again, we got together quarter 2, I think this will have been, where we came out of the training centre here in Darlington, and we took clients for a bit of an adventure. We walked 11k while discussing everyone's flooring businesses and how to motivate things forward. We then threw everyone off a building with a rope attached to them, like a bungee jump, which was interesting to say the least.
We just laser, boom, boom, didn't we?
And our son tried to shoot everyone with a laser, while getting really clear again of how the second part of the year was going to be delivered. In amongst that, I haven't actually put this on the pictures, but then I ruined my calf muscle to start with. I had a bit of an incident with that, so we had 6 weeks of me hopping around like Kermit the Frog, and straight into that, then ended up in hospital for 2 weeks with a suspected heart attack, which was a hoot. Thankfully, wasn't a heart attack. It was an infection on the outer wall of my heart, but spending a week in the heart ward of James Cook wasn't the greatest experience I've had, and probably one of the scariest moments, being surrounded with people that are about to die. But I didn't, unfortunately, for the listeners. Then, luckily, I got the all clear 1 week before we flew to Morocco with a lot of our clients. Well, not a lot. We went with 10 flooring contractors and retailers to Morocco, which was, putting family holidays to one side, the best trip I've ever been on.
You had to be careful then, didn't you?
I did.
I think I heard you say on another podcast that actually it was the best trip you've ever been on, and he was like, "Oh, but hang on a minute."
Yeah, I think the conversations, the food, the locations, the banter, the challenge side of it, the 4,000 meters. If anyone's climbed anything larger than 1,000 meters, 4,000 meters is no joke. Start running out of oxygen a little bit, not as much as like needing oxygen, but you can certainly at 4,000 meters, it you can tell the difference. So we did that, and then we had some brilliant R&R time in Marrakesh. So great food and just unbelievable. What a set of guys that went on that, and we will be repeating that trip again. Then we went straight into our charitable event where we raised, I think, 4,000 quid for stillborn babies.
It sounds what we did it for, yeah.
Yeah. Where about 15, 20, no, was it? I can't remember how many. 15 of us decided to repeat the ascent of Glencathra 5 times. For anyone that's done any mountains, that's the equivalent of just doing a big mountain 5 times with no break. And it was some event. That was some tears before bedtime on that. Started at 6 a.m, and we got to the pub, I think, at 7:45 on the evening. Brilliant support team. Thank you for that, Mrs. C. But there was some proper shifts putting on that. Brilliant talks, chats. Then we ran a few more courses, obviously all the stuff we do on a day-to-day basis, and I'm just going down my photo line. Then we had our meetup at the flooring show, and we did some great podcasts, live and direct, and there'll be some more released next year. There were some really interesting ones. And again, we took over the tapas bar in Harrogate, and had a good time with that. And then for some unforeseen, well, I do know the reasons, but as people would think to wind down and stick to the plan and do this and that, we then decide to launch the National Flooring Awards, which I don't even know where to start with that. Because on paper, it's been in our back pocket for a couple of years.
Couple of years? 5 years, Tom, 5 years.
5 years. And when you sat around the table, sort of chatting to our partners of this year, Headlam, who have always been through a challenging time, still going through a challenging time, let's be honest. Just say, like, let's go for it. Let's do it. At that point, it seemed relatively straightforward. Just get 300 people in a room and give them some trophies and go, well done. How hard can it be? But I think in 20, I don't know, is it how long have we been together? 21 years? 20 years? 21 years. I've not seen you work as hard as you have in the last 8 weeks ever. And that's
Rude.
no, but you're
I always work hard. I do what it takes.
No, but you are a full-scale grafter. That's not me blowing smoke up your ass. But truly, I have not seen you on turning it up and not killing me at the same time to deliver on this.
It's been close.
It's been close, but normally you just give me a full force of attack, calling me a dick. This time you just put your head down and went, let's dance and let's get this done.
Well,
We haven't delivered it yet, granted, but we are fully booked. We are at maximum fire safety regulations capacity. We have had all final meetings. We have had the people that are involved is 20 plus staff to bring this together. So let's see. Only time will tell. The proof will be in the pudding. We will deliver. It will be exceptional, but proof will be in the pudding. Ask us on the 4th of January how we did. We'll maybe do a podcast of what went wrong and what went right. And what might be a great thing for the listeners is let's get all the winners on the podcast. Just get them on a Zoom and let's get them all on here. And I'd like to dig the dirt of actually what it takes, because the naysayers and the storytellers giving it the big I am, saying, oh, it's a load of shit, these awards, you just pay for a table, and all the wanky stuff people say about awards. I 100% was dead set against that, and to really identify the people that have got talent in this industry. But second of all, because we've outsourced the judging completely and we've removed ourselves from it, we've actually realized ourselves of actually how difficult it is to win one of these awards, which we thought it would be difficult. We deliberately made it difficult, but only because when the judging's been done and how in depth the judges have gone, if like there's nowhere to hide. Like, and then maybe we get the judges on as well. Maybe we do a podcast next year with just the judges. See if we get some people on to outline what we did in the background, because that's the bit people won't see. People go, oh, look, I got a trophy. Or, oh yeah, that company looks good, or that company shouldn't have won, or this, that, the other. The work that's gone into it to identify the best of who we've got, in the awards, has been, 4 months. Jesus Christ.
I mean, yeah, on paper, it looks like a relatively straightforward thing to do. And half of me at some points in this last 8 weeks has probably gone, I wish I hadn't even mentioned it in that meeting, as this is what we need to do and this is how quick we need to do this, because something of this scale naturally should take, a minimum 6 to 12 months to be able to prepare and organize for. I mean, we've literally gone from ground zero on this, and I think we've there's a lot of stuff that we have to learn from this. There's a lot of systems, a lot of processes that could have been much better. There's times where I've dropped the ball during this period of time, and it's acknowledging stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this is the first time that we've run these awards, and I'm never gonna, poo-poo how amazing they're gonna be, because they are gonna be absolutely unreal. And I think there's a lot of surprises there that people won't expect. I mean, they might do if they've worked with us before, because they'll know that there's always a surprise when it comes to working with doing things with Cockerill and Co. But yeah, the last few weeks have been particularly hard. There has been occasions where I think, I wanted to, quite frankly, punch you square in the face. I more than usual, and I genuinely cannot, I cannot thank you enough for stepping in to doing the stuff that I would ordinarily do for you either, because I've seen a completely different side to you, even after all of these years, that, you've just said to me, look, I'll handle that. I'll do this. I'll get on with that. I'll deliver this part. I'll take care of booking your accommodation, because, in the midst of all this, there's the kind of day job stuff that's had to go in. So I think it's been an absolute, it's been a team effort to get all of that, and everybody in our team. I mean, even the guys over in Truth Digital, from the marketing support, they've been absolutely unreal. And I think at some points they've also wanted to kill you or kill me. Communication at times probably hasn't been the best it could have been either, because, we're like ships in the night and we're always off doing other things. And I think, So I think we've got a lot to learn from these ones, and I think the recent announcements that we've made and the opportunities that have presented themselves with, to us for the 2026 awards, just put us in a really good standing for how the September 26th is going to look for these awards. We'll have done the back work and the leg work for it, and shared the tears and the tantrums and everything else in between. So yeah.
I mean, what I'd like to do, and I wasn't even going to do this, but I'm going to do it because I just want pure transparency on this. Of it's just an awards, it's just this, it's just that. And I think I'd like to throw some numbers approximately about there, which you wouldn't normally see, but for the aid of the transparency. So, how many judges do we have in the end? Is it
9.
9? So 9 judges from all different industries who, when we gave the judges the categories they were going to judge, first of all, we asked the entire group, is there any conflict of interest with these clients and with yourselves? So again, there wasn't, luckily. We did check a few things, but that was straightforward. We then had to operationally set up a way of creating a point system so people could clearly win or not. As it will come out in the future of the awards where we notice the winners, some of the people that have come first and second, let's say, there has been half a point or 1 point between first and second. It's been that
It's
close.
been so nail biting as that when they were seeing them coming in, and you're just like, oh.
Like, I feel sick. Like, it's so close. AV bill, just for speakers and lights, is circa 6,000 quid. Our hotel bill is circa 18,000 quid, which is a hell of a hotel bill. Please remember, this is non-for-profit. These are costs that it costs to put on such an event, and obviously we have to cash flow it and then get paid later. As in, what I mean by that is collect the money to pay for it, not be paid and put a margin on this. This is not about making margin. I would estimate, even though we have, let's say, friendly rates with our partner at Truth Digital, who've built websites, ticketing systems, socials, paid ads, we're probably $5,000 deep into full service marketing from meta ads experts. Special thank you to Sean, who has probably ready to kill me as much as you have from his existing workload. John has obviously built all the WordPress systems and had to update a website weekly, daily, because things have changed, just to make sure they're better. Then we're running just because we thought it would be really stupid, run an awards, but then bolt on a VIP experience for our existing clients the night before, and then also do a momentum event, which is a business conference. So then we've got 7 headline speakers that are coming from all around the country.
9.
9 again.
And plus us, that's 9. Yeah.
7 plus 9. Well, we've had to deliver a business conference for 110 people to come and sit and listen. And we've got retailers, we've got our existing clients. We've got the flooring show coming. We've got ASMs coming, reps. And so everyone from the industry is coming to listen and learn and understand what we actually do rather than run events and go canoeing. It's going to be an educational day. But I mean, even the AV and tech. And then I wouldn't even want to put a value on the time we've put in, but it's going to be circa 40 hours a week, plus our day jobs, evenings, weekends. What other you're the finance department, Sarah. What other, apart from time, have we carried any other major costs on that?
Well, I know what the total cost of the event is so far. I've got those figures.
I'll let people work that out, but it's so yeah. For the people that says, "Oh, it's a bit easy to do that," I can tell you, it's not. There's but the big news, which is now out, The Flooring Show have kindly given us access to the majestic ballroom at Harrogate, and in partnership with those guys, we're going to deliver a bigger, a better experience than this year. Even though it's
To that. Yeah, how do you know? See, how are you going to top what we're going to do this year?
well, we're allowed pyrotechnics at the majestic. We're not allowed pyrotechnics at the. So yes, we are gonna top it. We're gonna find a way of doing that. Obviously, we can't do that until we've run it. But so 19th of September is the next big event, and then there's much more news around how we're gonna increase value to the flooring show. That's top secret, because it's not just we're gonna do the awards on the 19th, but if you think that's big, watch this. And then I don't know what else. I mean, obviously, we've done all of this as well as I'm going to call it the day job, working with retailers, contractors, wholesalers, suppliers, delivering training. Quite a lot of it is done behind closed doors because people don't want to know that we're doing this and that. And we sign NDAs and, so we do a lot of stuff that people don't know about. That's the whole point. Yes, we make noise when we need to make noise, but a lot of people don't want to know that, we work on their financials or that we're working to grow their sales or to create the structure. And then probably the final thing that we completely forgot, or I completely forgot, we have a new director in the building, Martin Cohen. If you haven't listened to the podcast a couple of weeks ago, we'll listen to that and tell you all about that. Mine's bringing some level of expertise that mean you haven't got, Sarah. So he's joined the party, and he's
How is that possible?
oh, I know. He's done his own due diligence before coming to work with us. He's been in amongst the clients, seeing what we do behind the scenes, and just literally sitting in the background observing how we help people, how we progress the businesses forward.
5 months. For 5 months, he's done that.
Yep, yep. And we threw him off the building. That was his test. If he didn't jump off that bungee jump, that'd have been it. I said, "Sorry, Martin, you're out, mate."
Initiation ceremony.
Yes, yeah. Martin did jump without being pushed. So well done, Martin, for taking the 22-meter bungee jump. Because you wouldn't be working with us if you hadn't. And that's I mean, there's been so much more, Sarah, but I mean, they're the things we can say we've done. And I think it's great that we've delivered on all the plans that we said, and then just whack this. I'm surprised that's why you haven't killed me, because it was never part of the plan ever.
Well, I mean, that being said, part of the plan was that, every single year we get, 30 to 60 of our one-to-one clients all into a room around Christmas time. Last year it was the 6th of December. We went to Austin Martin. We always have our annual goal setting and strategic planning session, and we also have our Christmas do with everybody as well. We always knew that we were going to have that again this year, which is where momentum's come from, really. I mean, the whole thing with momentum is pretty much what we do every year with our clients in a smaller format. And what we said was, this year, what we'd like to do is open that up to people so they can come and see and feel and breathe and sense the power in that room. Because those events, quite honestly, are probably the highlights of my year every year, because I just think people get so much from them. And that was, obviously, we were going to do that. It then turned into not our annual party and goal setting day. It turned into momentum. And then we thought, fuck it, let's just go bigger. Why don't we just bolt this on to the National Flooring Awards as well? And let's just do that, because that's been on the list for so long as well. But it doesn't surprise me, because I think we're always moving forward. We're always stepping outside our own comfort zone. I think we have to push ourselves just as much as we push other people. I think it's really important for us to do that. And, we are not ones for standing still. So in one respect, it doesn't surprise me. What did surprise me was that it was off the back of my idea, and you just ran with it and was like, let's get this out tomorrow. The speed of that, in true Tom Cockerill style, was unprecedented. And I think a lot of people involved in the team around that point probably didn't thank you very much at that point either. But yeah, why not? Let's just do it.
I think the messaging that I want to get across for anyone that's been listening to this podcast for a while, that's still not been on a training course, that's still not been on a Zoom call, that's still not had a phone call. I think, is this now the year that you're going to step up and have that conversation? Not even step up, just, I'm assuming you enjoy the podcast. We really appreciate you listening. But we've got so many avenues we're now going to open up. Where, I mean, unfortunately, working directly with you, you've got a waiting list because you're the queen bee. But we do have some openings coming up next year where I'm going to run free Zooms, free masterminds. Again, for clarity, I'm not working for free. What I want you to do is bring whoever works in your business, and experience what we do here at Cockerill & Co. Come to the training centre, get on a Zoom, let's have conversations of what you want in 2026. If we can help you, likely there's going to be a little bit of a charge. But that initial conversation and that initial consult, and even if you get what you need from that there is no cost to that, because it's a two-way thing. Is you've got to decide if you want to work with us and if there's return on investment. And then also you've got to decide, we'll make a decision. We want to work with you. And it is
Brutal as it is, because sometimes you don't want to do that.
And back to that, everyone knows in our groups that, that, let's say, pay monthly, to put it bluntly. If you don't do the work in any capacity, everyone works different speed, right? You just don't take part in anything. We cut the contract. It's the worst financial decision for us possible, but we boot between 3 and 5 people out every year because we've not seen them for 6 months, 9 months. We've not even heard from them. Like, where are you? And even we've prompted them and our team's given them a bit of a kick, saying, oh yeah, I'm just busy, or I've just come back from holiday. Yeah, we know that. We're not asking you to do anything, but the minimum, just say, I'm still here. I'm still alive. There's no value in us taking a fees from you if you're not progressing. So anyone that's willing to go backwards and willing to not do any work at all, it's we're the wrong fit. So we do offload some clients, and it'll be the first week of January when we've done the awards that we will do a client cleanse. So hence why we've got
I love that client cleanse.
that's why we've got them opening, to speak to new people, to join our alliance, where you can come in and basically with any sort of, grow your retail shop, do anything really, whatever your business goals are. It's 200 quid a month, like, and if that sounds expensive, it's also the wrong thing for you, for how much value you get from it. It's just so many benefits and accessibility. But I think the thing that is really difficult to market is the people in that alliance. You've just got a group of like 70 contractors and retailers that want to help you. You're like, there is not a stupid question. There isn't one. You always get a good answer. You always get multiple action. You've got people that have been in the game 34 years. You've got people been in 5 years. Well, they've all come from different backgrounds, from corporate to fitters to whatever. So you'll get the right answer quick with no egos or things attached. So
Yeah, I think that is really key with the Alliance program. I mean, you can find out a bit more on our website. I think it's cockerillco.co.uk/alliance. But genuinely, it doesn't matter whether you're just starting out in business, whether you're just getting going, whether you're scaling up, whether you're wanting, financial support, whether you want just to get answers to everyday questions, whether you want to just have a real connections with people. It's lonely place. That's the majority of our people in there. So one of the reasons why I joined Alliance in the first place was because I genuinely feel quite lonely in my business. It's me and the staff, and I don't think I've got anybody to talk to or help me make decisions or really help me guide this business forward. And that's what that is, and that's what it is. And if you call it a business club, it is a business club, just like any other kind of business club in one respect. But yeah, I love the people in that group. It's amazing.
you got people in there that started with like it's 300, 400,000 pound turnover, and now they're breaching 2 million quid. And for clarity, that's not really down to our guidance completely. That is down to those guys taking action and taking advice, but then using it and doing the work themselves. We'd love to say, oh, well, we've done that, but we've certainly helped. But that might not be your passion. That might be just make a bit more profit, go on more holidays, or it might be winding down. It could be anything. Whatever your purpose is, spend more time at home. It doesn't. We've had people come and say, oh, I just want to spend more time on the golf course. Well, yeah, well, can help you with that as well. So, or if you want to go to the moon, we'll take you to the moon. Whatever you fancy. So I think that's the critical point, that if you are a listener and you've still not opened a conversation, I would ask why. What value are we bringing? Yes, the podcasts are free and I hope you enjoy them, but why not reach out to us, see what we can help with? I'd love to, that is my number one excitement bit, is where we find out what people, want to achieve, and how can we poke the bear and achieve what you want to achieve. Where's the problems and how do we solve them? That's the key thing. We have got a bit of a battle plan for next year, as you see, but there's not potentially anything at the moment, apart from supporting everyone and moving in that direction. There's nothing really I've got to release, that I want to release on this podcast.
I'm like sitting here shaking, like thinking I'm going to start shaking my head at the minute. Do not do what you usually do. And we've got some huge plans for next year, and it already makes me start to feel a little bit panicked. Just because I know what is on the horizon. I think as Corporal and Core goals, we've got a huge amount of opportunity for next year. We are going for gold. We have a huge amount of plans. We've got a huge amount of things that we're going to be setting out to achieve next year. Yeah, we cannot release that. We can't have a conversation about it. Sorry, Tom, it's vetoed. You're not allowed.
So Mrs. C, what is your most memorable moment of 2025, please, personally or in business?
My memorable moment of 25. I think the fun that we had at the water sports, I really loved that day. It was a real buzz of a day, and I genuinely don't think I stopped laughing the entire time, especially when you were on the other team and your boat sank and you were so cocksure of yourself, and it sank halfway across the river and my team won. Of course it did. I really loved that day. I thought that was a brilliant day.
Yeah. And what is your lowest point in 2025?
The last 3 weeks. No, my lowest point, and actually, I'm gonna this comes twofold. Actually, it's a dual purpose one there. My lowest point came from the feeling of helplessness and sadness when you were ill and you were in hospital. But on the flip side of that, that's probably one of my most memorable moments as well. My genuine appreciation for our community and what we've built together also came at that same point as well. It was very emotional. Having our members and our clients and stuff leaning towards for support, and people just stepping in when we needed them to. So that was a double bubble for me. It was a low point, of course it was, because you start questioning your own mortality and your own health and your own well-being, and are we getting older now? We've had those conversations this year, and yeah, it's a low point. But off the back of that, I always try and take the positives from it, and yeah, it was double.
What's your biggest personal win this year? Not business.
Biggest personal win this year, probably losing 2 stone. Way.
Yeah. For clarity, you've done that in the last few quarters while all this hell's been going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that comment of like, eating sort of a dirty keto, we'll call it, has been unbelievable. More energy, more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah.
What about you? What about you? What's been your highlight of 25?
Still got another question.
Ah,
I don't know. I'll answer it. What is the biggest fuck up you've done this year, Mrs. C?
my biggest fuck up. My biggest. I don't fuck up.
You do occasionally.
My biggest fuck up. My biggest fuck up was probably letting you sell tickets to Momentum and the National Flooring Awards without the ticketing process being absolutely perfect beforehand. And I'll repeat the words that you said: is done is better than not. Or done is better than perfect is what you said.
Yeah.
And that's caused me a few issues. So yeah, but part of that process, yeah, it's not been ideal. That's probably the biggest fuck up, and in the whole scheme of fuck ups, it's quite minor, really.
What was the question I asked you? So I need to answer. So lowest point.
No, the biggest, yeah, the best thing in 2025. Standout moment.
I'm going to keep going back into it. Summit in Toubkal at 7 a.m.
Mhm.
When you've got, I don't know, there was about 4 of us that probably burst out crying, which was mad. It was hard work. It was, yeah. So I think that was a standout moment because it was something just never experienced before, and with the right people. So I think that was brilliant.
Lowest moment.
Lowest moment was listening to the bloke next to me that had just been I was going to say pronounced dead. He wasn't pronounced dead. That was fair play. He was about 85, but they had to tell his family and him that he had a heart attack. Then he'd had a stroke, and when they'd done some investigational work, he then had terminal cancer, and they had to tell him that in one sentence. And I was sat in the bed next to him. I was like, "Wow, I'm in the deep end here with all these things attached to me." That was an interesting day. Um, so yeah, that wasn't the greatest. Especially I've got a fear of hospitals. Oh, I certainly think
You got over that now, haven't you?
I was getting like 3 or 4 needles a day, and I'm like, stop stabbing us, stop like,
Mm.
yeah. So that wasn't great. But it was a learning curve.
Mhm.
So it's what are the other questions? Biggest fuck up?
Biggest fuck up, yeah.
Oh, don't even know. Um, I don't know. What have I really done? Um, I mean, it's not really, it's not, it is, but it isn't, but it's had a big impact. So I was obviously training for the Fred Whitton Challenge, on a bike. So I was hammering and hammering the cycling, and I've never been someone to stretch or like I just get on and do exercise. So I get out in the morning, do a very, very basic stretch and run the streets or this. And that night that I got off the peloton after a massive ride, and then sat down to eat my dinner, and then ran up the stairs and ripped my calf muscle. Like I would say that's a fuck up because I know I should stretch. I know it was really tight, but the impact of ripping my calf muscle, I'm still suffering the things now. I've still got it strapped up. I can only run 20K at the moment, and it goes. So that small stupid period of refusing to stretch has kind of impacted, and is still impacting now. And so more the impact rather than the stupid moment, just not thinking. Um, yeah, I can't. Obviously, I hit myself in the face with sample boards and miss off details on proposals and different things like that. But we always find a solution. So I suppose that probably made the biggest impact. Um, there was a third question as well, fourth question.
I can't remember.
Biggest win personally?
Biggest win personally, yeah. Don't say not too, Carl. That's a cop.
No, 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 no. I can't even say it's a win, but I'm going to take it as a real win. even though you're going to kill us. So I decided to buy a sports car in November, which I still haven't picked up, which I'll release details of what it is. At probably the hardest time we were working, and I'm going to take that as a real win, because what I want to do with the kids and you and friends with it next year. It was the wrong time to buy it, the wrong time to even think about it and use any energy on it. But my logic I've justified, and I'm going to take it as a real win, because I think, yeah, that might be, you might completely disagree with that, but I'm going to stick with that because, you know me, I'm a petrol head. I love cleaning my car on a Sunday. I'll love taking the boys on little trips and stuff, and going out on a Sunday to little car shows at castles and things like that, which I haven't done yet, which I can't even call it a win. But yeah,
The timing is just fucking shocking.
I know.
Absolutely shocking.
The other thing that I think was a win, again, I'm not going to lie, not because of the charitable element to it, us delivering the Keswick Killer, which was the charitable event, and climbing with all, let's say, the injuries, stroke, the issues we've had this year, delivering, leading, and doing that event, I think was a huge win, because I've done some, I've done 24-hour challenges, I've ran 50k races, and I'm still not the pinnacle of health, but I've still done difficult things. And that day was up there in the top 3 of, this is a bit tasty. But again, doing it with the right people, doing it with the right retailers and contractors from around the banter. But I quite easily could have quit that day. And that was it was real tasty, but we were there to for a cause. So that would probably be a better win. But
Just remembered, Tom, something that also at the beginning of this year, one of the things that we set out to do personally was to get the plans passed for our extension that we want to build at home. And we wanted to get foundations in the ground in October, November time. A massive win for me was that we didn't start it.
something had to give. Yeah.
Yeah, well, something had to give, and I think we both made the decision that actually we got the planning permission in February. We got the plans printed out, and I'm just looking at them now on our kitchen wall. And we decided against getting those foundations in place for the greater cause that we've just decided to launch one of the biggest events that we've kind of ever put together, which is fine. So I think that in itself is a win, that we've been able to make judgment in a very very short period of time, that there is only so much that 2 people can do. There is only so much that we can do individually as well, and as a family and everything else. So I think that was a good call to make. And then alongside that, something else happened in November, which we've been working on for the last 5 years. Remember? What else happened in November that has changed things massively for us?
Go on.
Our bankruptcy's gone.
It does.
We were released from any bankruptcy. So if anybody doesn't know that, you probably need to find out a little bit more about our story and our backstory, and ultimately the reasons why we do what we do at Cockerill & Co. But for the last, in 2019, we were both we made ourselves bankrupt, actually, and that was,
to be fair, it wasn't 100%. There was a little bit more connected with that, but we'll stick it as
there is, but we made that decision ourselves, is what. Yeah, but that was removed in November as well, so we're free.
Well, I think, I suppose the other way of looking at that as well, Experian reports are at 997. Yeah, so which is 6 years. Yeah, interesting. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What
on, yeah. So if you are wanting to take your flooring business to new levels, or in need any help, we would implore you to email, phone, do something rather than sitting on the fence, etc. Continue to listen to the podcast, and thank you so much for listening. That's we will continue to do these as we have the listenership. We maybe do more of these podcasts with just me and you, but on more of an educational stance, I think. And we'll look to bring some much bigger players onto the podcast to bring bigger value, because it can only go one direction, this podcast, and that is up, not down. So we will continue next year at a slightly slower rate of around 2 a month rather than 4, and really focus on the quality side rather than quantity. Not that any of the podcasts this year have just been because of quantity, but when you are recording sometimes on a Wednesday evening and you've got to drop on a Thursday, you're pushing your luck a bit. Final thoughts, Mrs. C?
No final thoughts from me, but what a year. Thank you as ever for everything that you do within this industry, and for everybody else.
I thank you to all our clients that believe in us, trust us, that it's been emotional.
It has. It has. Over and out until 2026. See you on the other side.